So whenever you answer this, I do not want you to say the letter. I just want you to say the number. So number 1, what do we think? 15 degrees. Number 2?
79.
I agree. Number 3?
107.
107. Number 4?
82. I got 82.
So remember that a right angle looks like a corner. So it's bigger than that, right? It's wider than that. So it's going to be more than 90. And then this would be 180, right? This is 180 and this is 90. It's closer to 180, so it'd be 159. C is the answer. Number 5?
180.
Number 6 has been a...
32. It's 160. 160. 32.
So Darnell, it's still less than 90. So make an L with your hand. That's 90. Less than that? Okay, more than that you can't do. But do you understand? That's 90. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's less than 90, right? So it is 32, not 62. It's less than half. So it'd be 32. Number 7? 18. Number 8?
114.
Agreed. And then number 9? 90 degrees. Go ahead and flip to the front. And I'll explain what we're going to do. Yep. These are my protractors, not the school's. So do not bend them. Someone's already broken one today and they're replacing it. So don't let that be you. So what you're going to do with it, it's transparent. So make sure the numbers are facing you and not down. I will teach you how to measure one of them, and then you'll do the rest on your own.
How do I know if it's facing me or facing her?
I will teach you how to do it in a second. Just let me hand them out.
I know how to do it.
You give me
2,
2.
3. Go ahead and pass it back. Yes, I did give you 2. This class is larger than my last one.
We always read the bottom number, right?
You do not always read the bottom. You just read wherever 0 was. So, pause before you start doing what you think you're doing. Look up here. We just did this in the hopes, look up here, that if your angle looks acute and you tell me it is an obtuse number, that something in your head will click that you did not measure it correctly. If it looks acute, you should have an acute number. What are acute numbers?
90.
Less than 90, so 89 and down.
89.
All right? If it is more than 90, then that would be?
91 and above.
Yeah, 91 above, which would be obtuse. Okay, so if it looks obtuse, the number needs to be obtuse. Do not round to 5s and 10s. There's only a buffer of 1 or 2 degrees on these. Here's what that means. If the answer is 77 degrees and you put 80, I'm marking it wrong. You can go 2 up or 2 down, and I'll show you why. These protractors have a circle on them. Everyone locate the circle. Everyone see it? On my screen, I don't have a circle. I'm going to draw one for you. You're going to place the vertex, which is the corner of the angle, in the center of the circle. The center. So I'll show you what that looks like. So you have a circle here. You're going to place the vertex in the center of the circle. Then you're going to line up the side of the angle with the side of the protractor. Everyone see it? All right, this one is pretty exact. Okay, is 0 on the top row or the bottom row? It is on the top row, so we're going to read the top row. What is it at? 70 degrees. Okay, if you got 71, 72, that's fine. It depends on where your circle was. You want to best aim for that vertex to be in the center of your circle. All right, but you can be off. See this circle? This needs to be all the way right here.
Oh.
Okay, and then turn it. You see this line?
So 70 degrees.
It needs to be lined up there and there. Then you read. So yours would say 71 or 72, which is fine. In the bin, yeah. All right, so you're going to go through and do the rest. Go. So remember, do not round to 5s and 10s unless that is absolutely what you got. see how it's in the center of the circle? And straight.
I'll go to 0, right?
And then it's on the top, so you're gonna read the top row. So it's gonna be 70 degrees. But don't just round to the tens. So some of these are not.
What do you mean?
Don't round to 5 or 10. So this one is not exactly at 5. Don't just say it's. 55 would be if it started over here. That's a two way. 0 at the bottom. 0 at the bottom. So don't say it's not 5. It's a little bit low. Be exact.
Okay.
Just go round to 5 or 10.
Unless you have to.
Unless
This is shape.
So the circle needs to be out of vertex.
I don't measure this.
Good. And then that line is
It's a E.
where's your top and bottom? This is your right one.
Up top. Go look at the top.
I'm giving
Yep,
you
on that one. So where's yours? You just follow and go. Zero's on the top right here.
You're good.
And remember, it's acute. It's less than 90, so that means it would be an acute number. You'll just turn the protractor. Or your paper, either way. Either way. So you can either do like this, or you can. You want this for part on the inside, right? So like this, or like that.
Thank you. I'm finished.
Wonderful.
Wait, Miss Marshall, can you come here with me?
You just turn the paper. So look, that's an acute number. Is that less than 90? Is this angle? So your finger can make that? No, you can't. That's an acute number, that's not the angle. Alright, so you can be off by 1 or 2 degrees either direction. If you're more than that, it's not correct, so just go ahead and write it down. For the most part, I think you're all done. So we're going to go. Letter A was 70. Letter B, what did you get?
47.
57. 46.
45.
I got 46.
46. Nice.
45 is fine.
Nice.
Or 47, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm just.
I got 72 for the first one.
Letter C.
148.
140. It is.
49.
I got 148. So 149 is fine. Same thing. Good. Letter D.
125.
125 is correct.
For D?
Correct. Yes, sir.
I messed up. I got it.
148, I see.
Oh, I see what I did wrong. I
Well,
counted.
D.
I made it 135 because I counted the extra 5 as a. You know what I mean?
126?
But it's really what.
E.
78.
I got 77.
I got 78.
I got 78.
That's good. Letter F.
109.
107.
I got 108. 109 is fine. Yeah, it's okay. And then letter G.
15.
15.
I got 14. 15 is fine. Okay?
Is that a reason I got 131 for D?
Yeah. You
Yes, your circle is probably in the wrong place. Go ahead and take out 1.5 notes and a highlighter and your calculator. We're going to find the measure of the angle and then classify the angle. We're going to start with AOC. First of all, does it look acute or obtuse? Acute. Second of all, let's find the measure.
30.
I agree. How do you know it's 30?
Because it's on the 30.
Yeah, so 0 is in the top row, 30 is in the top row. You can also read the bottom row. It's 180 and 150. What would you do with those two numbers? Subtract them and you still get 30. All right? C-O-E. C-O-E. Which row do we want to read? The top sounds good. So we would have 30 and 140. 30 and 140, what would I do with those two numbers? Subtract them. What's 140 minus 30? 110, which makes it obtuse. You still could have read the bottom, which was 150 and 40. You would still subtract them. 150 minus 140 is 110. Flip the page. Before we do this question, you'll want to copy this down. The yellow and the white did not print well. The yellow at least didn't. So go ahead and mark these arcs that are here because you cannot see them on your paper. So there's an arc here, an arc here, an arc here, and an arc here. What do those arcs mean?
Congruent.
They're congruent. Perfect.
Wait, where?
It's on the screen.
There, 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 there.
Right here.
Yeah, and then here. Yep, there. I have so many pictures. This is a big triangle. That's not it. So there, there. Maybe outline the sides of your triangle so you can also see them. So, looks like this, right? You got two triangles. If it were me, I would outline them because there's a lot on your page. So that you can actually see later what we're doing. Number 1 says identify the angles congruent to angle AED. What is the vertex of AED?
What, E?
E. So the vertex is always that middle letter. So AED, the vertex is the middle letter. It has one arc. We're going to go through and name all of the angles that are congruent to this one. How can I find all the angles that are congruent to that one? Look for the one arc, right? So let's go ahead and name this angle first. Can I name it angle D? No, because there's more than one angle with a vertex of D. So what would I call it? Angle ADE. Just ADE. All right, we're going to keep going. This angle also has one arc. Can I name it angle D? Still can't. Use 3 letters. So what 3? Angle BDC. And then the last angle is off in this corner. Can I name it angle C?
Yes.
I can. There's only one angle there. So you can say angle C, or if you aren't comfortable and you don't know when to use 1 letter or 3, you can always use 3. So what would we name this angle with 3 letters? BCD or DCB. So. All right, the second, identify the angles congruent to EAD. What's the vertex of EAD? A. So when we say EAD, it's that angle with 2 arcs. How many other angles have 2 arcs? 2 of them. So we're going to name them. Let's go ahead and name this middle angle first. ADB, angle ADB. And then last, we've got this angle up here. You can say DBC or, yes, you can reverse it. How many angles are at B? 1. So you can say angle B. So how many of these angles could I name with 1 letter?
3.
4.
I can say angle E. What else can I say? Angle A,
Angle C.
angle C, and angle B. So there's actually 4. The only one that I cannot name is angle D because this has a vertex of D, so does this angle up here, and so does this angle over here. Too many of them have that vertex of D. All right, so we're going to take the information that's at the top. What does the first part say?
Measure of angle
This part.
AED equals 34 degrees.
Correct. The measure of AED. What's the vertex of AED? E. So that means this angle has 34 degrees. All right. The second part says EAD is 112 degrees. What is the vertex of EAD? A is 112 degrees. That's that angle up there. So BDC, what's the vertex? BDC,
D.
D. It has 1 arc. So which one is it going to be congruent to? 34, angle E. So you're going to say 34 degrees. There's no work. You're just figuring out what it's congruent to. Earlier we listed,
How was it they all agree?
didn't we listed BDC as congruent to AED? So when they told us AED is 34, that means BDC is also 34. All right, and then ADB is this angle up here. It will also be 112. It has two arcs, which is the same as this angle, is 112 degrees. Again, you technically don't even need to look at that. You listed it earlier. ADB was congruent to EAD, which was 112. So you really didn't even need the picture. Questions? Okay. You're going to help us with the next one because you're falling asleep. FMN. FMN, is that an inner angle or an outer angle, Darnell? It is an inner angle. So it's all marked 99. 99. LMF, Cam, is that an inner or an outer angle? LMF. I did say your name. Cameron.
Huh?
LMF, inner angle or outer angle?
I think that's like an inner.
It is an inner angle. So then we want to find LMN, which is an outer angle. How do I find the outer angle? Add them. So the measure of angle LMN is what we're going to find. Yes, dear?
Why wouldn't you subtract it?
Because the inner angle plus the inner angle equals an outer angle. So if you took a textbook, yeah, and I just split it, and there were 100 pages here, and 200 pages here, and I want to figure out how many pages there were total, would I subtract them? I would add them, yeah. All right, so what's 99 plus 36? 135. You're okay. All right, second we got WDC is what we're looking for. Is that an inner or an outer angle?
Outer.
WDC, look at the picture.
I mean, no.
That's an inner angle.
I thought you said EDC.
EDC is an outer angle.
It is, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, now.
EDW is 61. So we know the angles together make 145. We have 61 of it. So what do I do to find that inner?
Subtract.
So we're going to subtract in this case.
Okay, I get it now.
Measure of angle WDC. Correct. Degrees.
So inner and inner, you add.
Add.
Inner and outer, you subtract.
Correct.
Nice.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If I ain't put, like, let's say I forgot to put measurement of angle WDC equals, and I just put 84 degrees and just circle 84 degrees, you say
If there's more than one part to it, I would mark it wrong.
But if it's just like this right here, and I just put 84 degrees and circle it, you take points off.
Go to the next one. But if there's multiple things like this one, yes.
Oh!
You understand?
Why that look
Because
so
you have to
hard?
tell me which one is which.
That look-
So you're going to take a highlighter. I'm going to tell you why students get this question wrong. And it's not because it's harder than what we just did. Like, yes, there's algebra in it, and we will do it. But I'm going to tell you a lot of people don't read the directions. What do you think is important in the directions?
Given that
Given that M and LK.
Go ahead and highlight it. The measure of angle LKN is 145. Go ahead and highlight it.
Come up.
Right there. The measure of LKN is 145. This is important because we learned that you can take the inner angle, add it to the other inner angle, and they will equal the outer angle. But before we begin, I need to explain what students will try to do and why you should not try to do it. So everyone look at this screen and visualize with me. You've been deserted on a desert island, right? You haven't eaten. It's been a month. Someone rescues you and they have pizza. You can only choose one slice of pizza. Everyone look at our two slices. Which one are you picking?
The one on the right.
One on the right because
Bigger.
it is larger.
Mathematical.
So are they equal? Focus. Are they equal?
No.
They are not. So a lot of students will try to set them equal, and they are not equal. Okay? So make sure you'll see a word if they were equal, and it's not in this problem. I'll teach you that word at the end. Okay? But right now, we're going to do the inner angle plus the inner angle equals the outer angle. That's why we needed that information from the directions. So inner, we're going to start with 2x plus 10.
Equals 145.
That one angle does not equal 145. We're going to add it to the other inner angle, which is 4x minus 3. Them added together equal 145. So now we're going to algebra. We have 2x and 4x on the same side. That does make 6x. Plus 10 minus 3.
7.
It is positive 7. Equals 145. Now we want to go to the opposite side of the equal sign. We will do the opposite. The opposite of positive 7 is minus 7. So 6x equals 138. Divide by 6.
That's
23.
70.
I got 0.4.
23.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what you did. You divided 6
Oh.
by 138. You took $6 and divided it by 138 people. You want to divide $138 by 6 people. No, it is not.
23.
Y'all relax. How many times does 6 go into 13?
2.
Twice with 1 left over. How many times does 6 go in 18?
8.
3 times. 23. That's not my final answer, though, is it? No, I want to find the measure of some angles. You absolutely have to label them. The measure of angle LKM. It was 2 times x plus 10. But now we know what x is, right? It's 23. So 2 times 23 plus 10. Correct. You'll get 46 plus 10, which is 56. We'll do the same thing on the other side to find the measure of angle MKN. So 4 times x minus 3. 4 times 23 is 92. Minus 3 is 89. So how can I check if these are correct?
Add them together.
Add them together. What should they add up to?
145.
145. And they do. That's it. Make sure you circle both answers. It's a lot of work for me to shift through, and try to look through. Any questions? Okay. All right. Second and third problem we're going to do like this. What kind of outer angle do we have on 8?
Obtuse.
It's not obtuse. It is straight. How many degrees is a straight angle?
180.
180. So what's the measure of our outer angle?
180.
180. I will tell you that it said it in the directions, but it will not normally tell you in the directions. If I see your eyes closed again, go stand in the back. Okay? So you're still going to do the same thing. The inner angle plus the inner angle equals the outer angle. What's the measure of the first inner angle? 10x minus 5. And then what are we going to do? Add it.
Plus 3.
Plus 4x plus 3 equals 180. The inner plus the inner equals the outer. What's 10x plus 4x? 14x. Minus 5 plus 3. Negative 2 equals 180. Add 2.
182 equals
14x equals 182.
x.
Divide by 14. No. How many times does 14 go into 18? Once, with 4 left over. How many times does 14 go into 42? 3 times. 13. Is that my final answer? No, I got to plug it in. Measure of angle KLN. 10 times 13.
130.
Minus 5.
125.
125. Find the measure of angle NLM. So 4 times 13. It's 52. Plus 3?
55.
55. What should these two numbers add up to?
180.
180. And do they?
No. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Wait, so do we round every time?
What do you mean round?
What are you rounding?
You have x equals 13.
Because 142 divided by 14 is exactly 13. You might have just typed something in wrong. Maybe missed the 2. All right. And then the next one, what is the measure of the outer angle? 90. How do I know it's 90? It's a right angle. How do I know it's a right angle?
Because it has the box on the.
Has a box. I'm telling you it will not say it in the directions like it does, but it will have that box. If there's no box, it's not 90. Okay, so keep that in mind. But we are going to take the insides, which would be 2x plus 2, plus the other, which is x plus 1, and they will equal 90. 2x plus x is 3x. 2 plus 1 is 3. Equals 90. Subtract 3.
87.
Correct. 3x equals 87. Divided by 3.
29.
Correct. X equals 29. So I want to find the measure, right? Measure of EFH. So I'll plug in 2 times 29 plus 2. 2 times 29? 58 plus 2? 60. Which means technically what should the other angle be? 30. We can obviously plug it in to check. 29 plus 1 is 30. That's it. It is not. But our good friend here. All right. Do we have any questions on these two?
You said I can't.
No, I said good friend here. What do you? Go to the next page. All right. So the first term on this page is angle bisector. What does bisect mean?
Together. Two sets.
To cut in half. So guess what an angle bisector does?
Plus the angle.
So it is a ray that cuts an angle in half. It is a ray that cuts an angle in half. It is yours, my friend. It is a ray that cuts an angle in half. And then you want to look at my screen. All right, what do these arcs mean? These lines? They're congruent. They're the same measure. A lot of students are like, why is it uneven? I'm going to tell you why. If it was not, and it looked like this, guess what that fluid line looks like? Guess what this would represent? It's one full angle. Not two individual angles. It would represent the whole angle. So if you ever see something that looks like this, this is representing the whole angle. So each of these angles would not be 40 and 40. What would they be? 20 and 20. So keep in mind. So they are always going to be uneven like this to show you that it's two separate angles that are congruent to each other. So you're either going to see one or two things in a picture. Go ahead and take your highlighter. Our first example, guess what the most important word in our directions is?
Bisect.
Bisects. Go ahead and highlight bisects. Then what you're also going to highlight is what's in the picture. Those two arcs are very important to us. Go ahead and highlight those two arcs. Because what do those two arcs mean? They're congruent. So what's that bottom angle? 24 degrees. Which means the measure of PQR. Correct. How'd you find 48?
24 plus 24.
Add them together. That's it.
Do they have to be capital?
It's the same thing.
Do they have to be capital? Like the PQR? It gotta be
Yes, because they're points. All right. The last thing, go ahead and take your highlighter. What's the most important word in these directions? Bisects again. So because they're bisected, you cannot take the inner plus the inner equals the outer. Do we know the measure of the outer? No, nothing in the directions tells us, nothing in the picture tells us. But what we do know is that this angle has been bisected. So these two angles equal in measure. So we're going to set them equal because that's what bisected means. So you're going to take minus 4x plus 33. I know that minus and that plus did not print very well, but it's minus 4x plus 33. It will equal 2x plus 81. And again, the only reason we can do that is because it told us it was bisected. Always move the smaller x. Which is smaller, negative 4 or 2x? If you have negative $4 in your account and I have $2 in mine, who is the richer man?
Negative 4.
I'm richer. Negative 4 is smaller.
Okay.
Because negative means you're in debt.
Oh, yeah,
So we're going to add 4x to the other side. You don't have to. You can do it the other way. You're just going to have a different route than us, as long as your math's correct. 33 equals 2x plus 4x. 6x plus 81. Subtract the 81. 33 minus 48. Sorry. 33 minus 81. Negative 48. Sorry, y'all. This is my 6th time doing this today. Divide by 6. X equals? Negative 8. So did it ask for x?
No.
It never does it? We're going to find the measure of each of these angles. Let's find ABD first. The measure of angle ABD. So you can have a negative x. You cannot have a negative angle. What is negative 4 times negative 8? 32 plus 33 is 65. We also want to find CBD, the measure. What should it be?
2 times negative 8 plus 8.
Same thing.
Correct. Should be the same thing. So you can always, I would still plug it in just to be sure. Because if it's not the same thing, what does that tell you?
You did something wrong.
You did something wrong somewhere. But 81 minus 16 is still 65. Did I answer the full question?
We gotta find
ABC. ABC. So how do you find ABC if there's no algebra to find it?
Yeah.
Add it. 65 plus 65.
130.
130. Second question, what are we going to do? It's the same setup, right? Same thing. We're going to set them equal. So we got 8x plus 35 will equal 11x plus 23. Again, it's because we're in a section where the angles have been bisected. What's the smaller x here? 8x, so we're going to subtract it. So you're going to stand up straight, not leaning against the wall. 11x minus 8x is 3x plus 23. Subtract 23.
35.
35 minus 23 is 12,
12.
which equals 3x. Divide by 3 and x equals 4. All right, so we're going to find all of those things again. Ugh. It's almost as if repetition will help you on your test. The measure of angle ABD. 8 times 4 is?
7. 32.
Plus 35 is?
67.
Correct.
Yes.
And then CBD, 11 times 4? Plus 23? Correct.
Yes.
Which means the outer angle, correct. So the measure of angle ABC is 134 degrees. Please make sure you indicate that's your answer. Box, circle, highlight, something to that effect.